Do you have a fear of failure, a fear of success, or a fear of both? Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm a certified life coach and I have my bachelor's of science degree in psychology. I also own my own life coaching practice called Endless Possibilities Life Coaching Services. So I decided to do this video because this is actually something I come across more often than I would like with clients, and it seems to be kind of one of those perspective barriers that gets in the way from clients really being that best version of themselves or feeling comfortable being that best version of themselves. So it's that idea of fear of failure or fear of success. And to be honest, a lot of times I see a blend of both. And I know the concept of this sounds crazy, like who would be afraid of success? And, what are you doing thinking about being afraid of failing? But this really does come to be in many life situations for many people. So I wanted to just take a little time to talk about what those two things really are. So to me as a coach, a fear of failure is when you are holding yourself back from taking chances, not risky chances, but calculated chances, things that you've looked at and you've done what I call a risk-reward assessment. So on one side you say, okay, well, what are the risks that go along with making this choice, and what are the potential rewards that can come if I take this choice? And so you have to wager them out, and you have to weigh which one is, heavier than the other. It's kind of like a pros and cons, but not so much in that, because you're looking at risk in the sense of what could I potentially lose, and reward, what could I potentially gain. So to me, those are more calculated risks. You've taken some time to assess the situation, to look at what could be lost versus what could be gained, and then through your own personal placement of where you are, what you want, what your hopes and goals are out of the situation, you make a decision as to whether you're going to move forward with it or not. So back to the fear of failure. Some people hold themselves back from taking the calculated risks because they're afraid of change. They're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of that moment, which can feel like a long time, where you're out of control or get a sense that you're out of control because you are stepping into that unknown. And I'll tell you, it absolutely can be a very terrifying experience, but it's probably also one of the most exhilarating and exciting ones as well. And the fact is that you're never going to get to the other side and see what's out there until you do it. So this is, again, one of those concepts that I do think holds people back often. And it's just good to kind of lay it out there and call it out for what it is, so we can take that and decide if this is the right time for us to address the issue of fear of failure and do that risk-reward assessment and decide if we want to move forward. And if we do, sometimes we need some supports and skills to give us the strength, the encouragement, and the tenacity to go after and do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. On the flip, though, you have the fear of success, which that I think is something that I find challenges my clients more when that comes up in session, because that's not a concept people kind of are as comfortable or familiar with. And oftentimes, although there's a variety of reasons why this can happen, I see this coming down to insecurities or a sense of instability within themselves. So that instability, whether it's in their personal worth and value, or it's in their comfortability and their sense of stability in life, sense of stability and confidence in themselves. But a lot of times, a stumbling block too, I've got these amazing clients who are capable of doing incredible things and actually are doing a lot of these things, but not to the scale where they can rise to success. And the biggest stumbling block is they just are, it seems like, incapable of seeing it because of that fear factor that's coming up. Again, just like in the fear of failure, there's also an unknown aspect. I mean, remember, anytime we're making a change and it's something new, there are unknowns that come along with that. And that is very difficult for many people to feel comfortable with. But the reality is you're not supposed to be comfortable with it. So what I say to and coach to that is it's time to get comfortable with the discomfort. So, there's a lot of things that I do in my practice because I'm striving for a level of success, a different level of success, a growth and advancement and expansion. And a lot of these things that I'm doing to get there don't really make me feel very comfortable, but they're not, it's not dangerous, and it's not coming at a risk, and it's just part of the process. It's part of what you do when it's brand new, or it's unknown, or it's out of your routine or out of your comfort zone, but it's a part of what you need to do to get to where you want to go. And so I coach this a lot across the board in many different areas with many different age groups to get comfortable in the discomfort. And as you do that, when you do step out into the unknowns, it's a lot less terrifying and it stops being paralyzing. But the truth is, the only way to do it is to start doing it. And again, I think making sure that we have the tools and the supports and the things that we need before we do it is very important and valuable. But at the end of it, if we've done that risk-reward assessment and we're identifying that there's a whole lot more reward, there's not a lot of risk or potential loss in doing this, and we've got the strong support system, and we're still finding ourselves held back or not ready or, not moving forward, then I would ask you to ask yourself those questions. Am I struggling with a fear of failure, a fear of success, or a mix of both? So I hope you found this interesting, maybe a little helpful, and I look forward to sharing more with you. All right, thanks.